like your first time learning data analysis. This is like your first time learning data analysis, and putting all of these skills into practice is something that makes you a professional. So you want to rewatch it as many times as possible. And when you rewatch it, please try to practice along, because you can really watch it. You can watch it at your leisure, and which is why we think YouTube is the best place to watch it, both on your phones and on laptop and anywhere. We do have complaint in the past that where we do store it before, people were complaining about it, and then we decided to step up our game and upload it on our YouTube channel. And do so whenever you watch a video, it is very commendable you like and subscribe also. So in case you've not done that. Okay, so without further ado, I think we have a long way to go yesterday. So yesterday I also told us how to report. So in a way, let me just write it here. So we have data sourcing. I've written this thing, contesting. We have data sourcing, we have data cleaning, we have analyzing the data sets. Then we have what is that, visualizing, and then we have reporting. So yesterday we've talked about a lot about data sourcing and data cleaning, and yesterday I even cleaned our data using Power Query. So everyone will be there. Who were there, people that were there yesterday would testify to that one. So analyzing the data is where we start today. Then we analyze our data. Then we have to visualize our data also. Then we have reporting. So yesterday I also told us about how to report our data. So I believe we've done virtually all of them except this visualizing data, which we'll be doing today. Also during the week, I will try to send at least 2 or 3 videos to solidify our knowledge on all the process of data analysis on Excel. So okay, so let's without further ado, let's try to understand the data set in case you were not here yesterday. So we cleaned this data set. This was the original data set. We cleaned it from this place to this place using our Power Query. I believe that one should be very clear if you were here yesterday. Do anyone have any question before we move on? How to clean data sets on Power Query, how to load it on Power Query, Power Pivot, something like that. Anyone has a question there, so we can just attend to the question before we move on to the next step.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, I can hear you.
I don't know how to get to the pivot table. Like, I don't understand how you get to the pivot table from the main Excel page. Like, I don't.
Okay, okay, this is the data set I used yesterday. Still the one I'm using now. Okay, let me just send Capstone projects. Sorry. Want to look up. I will answer you. Okay. 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 So I've sent it to the group. Okay, I've sent it to the group. I guess they would have gotten that. Okay, Ms. Baki, I want to understand something. Do you um you don't understand how to get to Power Query or Power Pivot? Let's clarify that before we move on. Is it Power Query or Power
No,
Pivot?
what you did yesterday, like how you were able to get to that other page that you were able to
That's
clean the
to
data.
clean the data. That's what we call Power Query, not Power Pivot. Both of them are different.
What's the difference, if I may ask?
Okay, Power Query is where we clean data, while Power Pivot is where we analyze data. So let me show you the
Okay, so which
two.
one did you not do yesterday?
Okay,
So you did Power
what we
Query
did
not
yesterday
yesterday, not
was,
Power Pivot, right?
yeah, what we this Power Pivot under our insert tab, you will see something like pivot table, and that's what we call Power
Mm-hmm.
Pivot. So under this data tab, so we all know that this is a table. I've told us how to. If I click on this one, you can see something like table design because this is actually a table. So under this data, you can see something like get and transform data. And I want to probably, let's say I want to get my data, but in this case, I already have my data in this table. So that's why I'll be clicking on get from table orange because my data set is already on this table. But let's say my data set is in text file or CSV file or it's in web or it's in various files such as JSON, whatever, would have clicked any of this option. But in this particular case, my data set is on this table, which is why I will be clicking from table orange. Once you click from table orange, it will direct you to Power Query. It's not like you are doing something extra to get that.
Thank you very much. I understand it now. So I'll go to data,
Okay,
then go to get and transform data. Then
exactly.
that.
Then you
Thank
load
you.
it. So when you are done, I think you can do the data cleaning yesterday. I think you were here yesterday when we are doing the data cleaning process.
I just didn't understand how you got to Power Query.
Okay, so when you are done with the cleaning process, so you just want to click and load. So then it will load into, and you can see it's already loading. Now it is loading double because I've loaded it before and another one is loading. So let me just delete this one. Let me delete this one because I've loaded it before. Okay. Okay. So that's it. Okay, that is all about Power Query and stuff. Okay, now let's move on to what we have today, which is analysis. So I want to change this one to analysis. So you just write analysis. It is actually better to rename your statement so you actually know what you're doing. And if you are these stylish people, you can right click and add a color. Maybe you want it to be black, and you can see it's very, very sweet when you're working with colors and stuff like that. So because we want to do analysis, we want to understand our data set more. So the first thing we want to do is okay, maybe I should remove this one. Let me delete it. I've deleted it. So the first thing you want to do is you will click on any cell value here. Can you see any cell value here? Then you go to your insert tab. No, we are done with data cleaning. We've gotten the data. We are done with data cleaning. The next process is to move to analysis. So when you want to do analysis, obviously you want to summarize the table, and that's what we call pivot table. Pivot table is just a table that helps us to summarize our data set. So in this case, we will be using pivot table under the insert tab. So you just click, you see something like pivot table. You just want to click on this pivot table. Then it is asking you that is it table 1.2, which I'm expecting to be this one because um I can see growing line that it is choosing all the data sets in this particular column. So I want to click on new worksheet. Yes. So then always remember to add this data to data module. It is very, very important. So once you click that, you can click on OK. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So please let me save. So what happened yesterday now? Okay, good. So now we can see this pivot table. Pivot table is used to analyze also, so it's used to summarize our data set. So I have some stuff to look at. So today I actually want to introduce us to what we call KPI. So what do we mean by KPI? KPI is an acronym for key performance indicator. So we can see there's a want to say indicators. So when we are creating a visual, right? I think I just sign check up on that. Okay. That's okay. I think I'm coming. Okay, so now let's look at this dashboard. So this is basically what we call a dashboard. So you can see this like a sales performance, right? Then we have some summary here. These are what we call KPI. KPI is just something that summarizes all the value. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have known what's our actual revenue, how much we've made, because I would just see charts. So you want to put some things which are very important into your KPI. They are like your key performance indicator. There are some, like, let's say I'm just looking at this visual, and I actually want to get some idea about it. So now I know this is about Forgis Pharmaceutical. Then the revenue they've made is $2.66 billion. So maybe they are targeting 2.43 billion, even though this is actually in a visual. Then I can also see it in my KPI, 2.43, and they made 2.60. That means they surpassed their targets. So I can see the values here. Instead of seeing it in charts, I can see the values here. So the total revenue they've made, the total revenue they've the target revenue previous year. I can see some actual thing. I can just see a lot of visual. Let me try as much as possible to look for more. So you understand what KPI is. Okay. Let's look at this. I'll send another one now. Okay, let's look at this now. So this is like a shark analysis. Then you can see there are some values there. There are values that will give us a summary of the things that are very important to this chart. Now, this stack analysis, then let's say we just have graphs here. I would not have known how many attack we have, how many stack attack we have, how many um the shark attack more male or more female. I mean, what is the percentage attack? These are just like a summary that will give you a quick introduction to your data. Then they are very, very important, and that's what we call KPI. So let's just move on. So we have different KPIs there, and you'll be the one to define your KPI. Now, because you are working on joint data sets yesterday, I discussed it yesterday. I explained what joint data sets mean. So because you are working with joint data sets, I want to know how many customer do we have up to date, like from inception till now? How many customer have we had? Now we want to know how many customer have left the organization, how many customer have stayed. So when we are done with that, then we want to know what is the percentage of customer that have left, what is the percentage of customer that have stayed. Maybe you can say how many males or how many what are the gender composition of our customer. So those are the KPIs. You'll be the one to define your KPI. And then I have some of the KPIs here. I have the total customer. Then I have the retained customer, the retention rate. So I will try, how do we now do KPI? So before we do that, because we are actually trying to learn analysis together with we are trying to learn analysis together with visualization. So we work and both of them work hand in hand. So let me rename this one to analysis. So I know where my analysis is going. Yes, yes, Okay. Just someone should remind me to save as soon as possible, as much as possible. But I don't know what's happening. Okay, this is our analysis. So let's try to change this one to our analysis. So I want to create another. What is this one for? Okay, these are our questions. So I can change this one. So let's say these are our visualization. So let me just say something like this. So if you want to prepare your this table, the first thing you want to go is under your view tab, right? You can see something like formula bar. What's our formula bar? These are our formula bar. What's heading? These are where is the heading? I think these are the headings. And what's the grid line? All these cells, all these lines are what we call grid lines. So you want because I want to create graphs, something like I want to make something like this, something like this. I don't want to see the lines. I don't want to see the formula bar. No, so I have to tick everything off, and which is why I'll come under my view tab. Then I'll tick everything off here. So when you remove the formula bar, you can see this place. Everything here leaves. Can you see everything there? Then our headings, you can see headings left too. Then we also have our grid line, which is the cells. So once you click on these cells, then you can click on this drop down. So I will drop up arrow. So you can see we have the clean space to have our shape there. So the first thing you want to go to our insert. Mostly what we can see we've used almost all the tab here. We have our home tab. We've used a lot of functions here. We use a lot of button in our data tab also. Also, we've used a lot of formulas. I think I discussed some of them. And also, we are now using view, and now we are using insert. Most of the time, when we are using insert, it's like we want to bring something. Ordinarily, they are not in Excel. We want to insert them inside Excel. So, what are the things? Illustration. So, it may not be like this exactly in your own what do you call it? In your own Excel. But whenever you have your shape, just look at it wherever you have your shape because I think I upgraded my Excel. It wasn't like this before. So you may not have the same icon. You may not see illustration, you may see shape here. So just click on the shape. You can see this is where my own shape is. So I want to click on this box here. So once I click on this box, the first thing is I want to do something like this. Oh, that's much. Okay. Okay, this is the box. So the next thing is you can right click here. There's something we call format shape. That is, I want to format the shape. Okay, I think we can see no fill. If you want to try out all this thing, you can see we have something like no fill. If you click on no fill, can you see we don't have any fill here? Obviously, you want your solid fill. So we have color. What color are we trying to use? Okay, I don't like any of these colors, so I want to click on more colors. So there is something we call Xcode. What's Xcode? You can see we have Xcode here. So for every color in this word, they have Xcode. So because I already have an Xcode to use, so let me just search for it. Um, there's a particular shade of green I want to use, which is what I'm searching for. Hmm, where's this thing? Okay, great. So we have different shade of green. Obviously, if I should just pick my cursor, I can just see the S code keep changing, but I have a particular shade of green I want to use. So let's say I want to use this particular shade of green. The S code is called, you can see it starts with hashtag. You can see it starts with hashtag, but it's not necessarily we start with hashtag. So let's just write um 84936 So to get this S code is very easy. So let's go on. Okay. So we can see this is the shade of green. So in case you don't like this one, you come under your color, click on more color. There's different shade of green, which I have here. Maybe I'll just send it to you. This is what I'm trying to work with. So everyone, please look at what I just sent now. What I've sent now. I've sent it. Yeah, please look at the shades. Then you can see this is what I'm trying to work with. The color I'm trying to work with there. So let's take another shade of green. Let's say something like I think this is actually great. Yeah, let's leave it at this. There's a long way to go. Okay, we can see we have, and another thing is this line, there is a border line here. We can see there's a shade of blue here, which I actually don't like blue in this particular case. So you can see I don't want any line there. So you can see there is no, the blue line disappears when I click on no line. That's why I've just removed the blue lines. So there's something we call wireframe. I'm trying to create a wireframe of where um my my boxes or my charts will be. This is what I'm trying to do. So the next thing is I have to be very fast now because time is already fast spent. So the next thing is I will try to click on my shape, click on this particular type of shape. One thing about the dashboard is be creative. There's no static way on how to build a dashboard. You can see there's no static way. The way I'm building this one is different from the way I normally build my dashboard. So there's no static way. There's no like a confined way on how to build dashboard. So you just have to be creative and do whatever you want to do. So in this case, I want to do something like okay, I think I've actually done a mistake. But let's go. So you can also press the shortcut Control 1 to actually give the format shape. But if you can't find that, you can just right click, then you can see format shape here. But the shortcut is Control 1. So the first thing is I actually is this solid field. I want to change it to the green color. Okay, it's changed. Then we can see there's a borderline here, which is like what is like blue or something. So under this line, you want to click on long line. So you can see we can't see that one again. So let's click on this one. I want to change this color to something like off white here. Yeah, something like this. Okay, at any point if you cannot understand, please just try to call me back so I will know. Yeah, you did not understand. So now it's looking good. So let's try to align this one very well. What's it? Yeah, you know, boss. So yeah, let's move on. Okay. So let's continue. So the wireframe, let's just click on the wireframe. Let me create as much as possible. I'm sorry. So let me try to save it. So next thing, click on your insert illustration. So what am I doing? Click on your illustration, then shapes again. Then let's say I want to click on this one. So okay, let's do something like this. Okay. So let's do Control D. We just double it. I see. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm actually supposed to format this one. Control 1. So what will be the color we want to use? I guess we want to use something like this. Okay, great. Okay, Control D. Don't worry, it will make sense as soon as possible. Okay, I'm gonna use that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's good. Okay, now. So with scanning, you try to understand what I'm trying to do. So let's do Control D again. So I want to, because this one, the bot this thing is too round for me, for my liking. You may like it like that, but for me, I don't like it like that. So um I want to reduce the roundness. So can you see? So let's do Control D here also. Can you see that? Okay. Okay, I think these two. Okay. No, okay. This is what we call wireframe. Okay, can someone tell me? I know I've not explained it, but can someone tell me what does this look like? What's the function by mere looking at this? What do you think what's the function of this thing that I've just this collection of boxes? What do you think I'm trying to do? Anyone? Yeah, I've just created. Hmm? Mhm. But okay, so this is what we call wireframe. Basically, this is what I'm trying to do. So we can see this is a dashboard, right? And you can see under each dashboard we have the KPI KPI boxes. Then we also have the normal chart boxes. What I've just created is just the boxes. You understand? So as I said earlier, we have different way of designing. You can decide to have a design like this. You can decide to have another innovation, just you trying to build something. You can see these are under design entirely. So we can see we have different type of dashboard design. It's not boxed into one. But looking at this, I guess you can do it now. So you can see this is like a box here. There's a box here. Then we have like 6 boxes here. Then we have like another 6 boxes here. Then there's another rectangular shape here. So basically, what I've just created is just like the boxes behind this graph and this value, and that's what we call wireframe. So basically, what we've just done here, well, what we've just done here is what we call wireframe. Do you understand that? Please, if you do, can we be on an emoji so I can know you guys are with me? Okay, only one person understands. Okay, great. Okay, but this is not perfect, right? It's not perfect. You can see the space between this one and this one um are inconsistent. So how do we ensure these boxes and the space between each boxes are consistent and stuff like that. So one thing I do advise is that when you want to do something, I know this is where I want to start, right? I know this is where I want to start my boxes. So we want to do something like this. So try to align them as much as possible. So start from the first one. Maybe so start from the first one. So the first thing is let me let you understand that we can see. I want it to be I want it to be straight, to be at the same horizontal line, and they should have equal space between them. So you click on the first one, hold your control key, click on the second one. Can you see I'm holding my control key, I'm still holding on to my control key. Then click on all the boxes there. Once you can see something like shape format here. So you can see something like align. What are you trying to do? I'm actually trying to align them horizontally. Sorry, right at the align button, because I want them to be at the same horizontal line. So I want to click on align button. So you can see all of the boxes, they are now on the same horizontal line. But remember, all of them they have an inconsistent space between them. So I can still see all the boxes are highlighted. So you want to click on your align again, then you want to click something like distribute horizontally. So now if you look at it now, you can see all of them are now they have consistent space between them, and that's what make differentiates a professional dashboard from non-professional dashboard. So I want to do the same thing for this one, this three. So I want them to sit down on the same horizontal line, and I want them to have consistent space between them. So I'll click on this one, hold my control key, click on this one, click on this one. So click on my shape format, align key. What is the thing? The first thing is distribute horizontally, and then this align button. So you can see there's a little bit change there. Okay. It's good. Okay. Let's do that. Let's try to align this one here. Okay, control key, control key. The same thing here. Align, distribute horizontally. Or the next one? Align button. Okay. Can you see this look more professional now, because now it looks like you've done it like computer like it just look like it looks so unreal, because people will ask you, is this still the same Excel? Yes, it is Excel, it's just boxes. So how do we get to do this? And these are what you need to practice as much as possible. And people will actually doubt if you are using the same Excel as what they are using. Okay, so now let's go to our analysis. This is just powerful. You've not started anything. Let's move on. Okay. So we want to know how many customers we have, right? So let's click on our analysis on our pivot table. I expect everyone to understand how we create our pivot table. So the first thing, I want to know how many customers are there. So where's my customer? To know how many customers are here. Now there's something we call constructive thinking, because you have to know this value. If you have a value here, that means you're a customer. I don't know if you understand. If you are working in this particular column, for your name to be here, that means you're a customer, right? So I want to check how many customer do we have. So that will be the first thing. That means I will count any of these two rows. I can count them, because each column signifies that you are a customer, and that's why we have your data present in this particular data set. So let's just go to our analysis. So I can just count credit score, go to values. So because I don't want this sum, I just go here, value fit setting. Can you see I click on the drop down? So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to count. Then I can see I have 10,000. Ordinarily, I know these are 10,000 data sets. So I'm expecting 10,000 customer. So that means from inception, I have 10,000 customers. Okay, how many people have left? How many people are still with us? These are the things we want to so fast. Please try to remember to save. So the first thing is we can change this one. Let's just change it like this. If let's say something like number of customer. So we just write equals to. So we want to reference this. Let me do something like this. Under my view tab, sorry, under my view tab, click on my formula bar so you can see it better. So you want to write something like equals to. I'm trying to reference this thing, this particular 10,000, then 10,000. So I can see number of customers is of 10,000. Then obviously you have to format it. Under our home tab, click on your comma. So you can see we have 10,000. We have the 00, which was the first thing we did when we started this course. So you want to remove this, you want to convert it to whole number, which is why you are reducing the decimal number here. So you can see we have 10,000 customer here. So the next thing is I want to know how many customer or what is sorry sheet on. So we want to know how many customers left us and how many customers are still with us. So that's the next thing. Because this is a pivot table, this particular thing, can you see? When I click on normal step, I cannot see my pivot table. But once I click on this thing, I can actually see something like pivot table field. So if I actually mistakenly cancel that one, so if I click on this one, I can't see it's not popping up. But once I click on this stuff here, once I click on this empty cell, look, the tab stops at where help. But once I click on this one, it stops at where I can see pivot table or pivot table analyze or design. So once you click on this pivot table analyze, so you can see something like field list. So you can just enable it. So you can actually go back to where you were before. So what's the next thing? I want to know how many customers left us. So looking at this data set, notice the data set that we explained. This is where we can know how many people are still with us. Maybe active member means they are a customer, and yeah, I guess active member means they are a customer. Yes, active customer means they are still a member of they are still a company, they are still a customer. Not active member means they've left our company. So in this particular case, when you go to your analysis, you see where it is active member. So let's drag this away. Okay. Sorry, the first thing is I have to copy this particular private table because I'm doing another analysis now. So this one is Control V. So the next thing I want to do here, is what? I'm not dealing with credit score anymore. What column am I dealing with? I'm dealing with is active member. So let's drag it down to rows and let's drag this down to values. So my values is giving me count, which is what I want. So I can see how many active member do I have? 5,151. How many dormant member do I have? I can see we have 4,849. That means almost 50% people have left us, which is very, very bad. I have to know what's our company doing so wrong that almost 50% of people have left us. So now I just want to do something like maybe active member. So because I'm trying to make this as clean as possible. Active member. Then let me just say dormant member. Dormant member still mean you are still in the company. So let me just say NA, which is not an active member. I'm just trying to be fast. So this second row now, you can write equals to reference this one. So you can write equals to and reference this particular cell also. So you can see we have 505,000. So if anything happens to this one, because I'm referencing this particular pivot table, it will change in this particular thing also. So that's what we call telereferencing. So another thing we want to do is we want to know what is this, because I just jot this down. Retention rate, that means how many people stayed, how many people left. Let's calculate the retention rate. Now this is where our statistical knowledge come into play. So how do we calculate people that have left? We know we have the total number of people that we have is 10,000. So if we want to calculate the percentage of active member, we will do this number over this one, which will give us the percentage, Abby. So it is very easy. So you can just come here, let me just come here. Let me maintain this particular line. So let me come here. Let me just write something like percentage of active customer. Um, yeah, so you just come here to start any function or formula. You have to start with an equals to. So you have to do this one over that is this particular E8. What's the value inside E8? That's 5151. Where do we get this 5151? It is in this pivot table. So you want to do that over our number of customer, which is in this thing. So E8 over C4 means 5151 over this one. So if I should click on enter, I can see 52%. So you can actually make this one, go to your home tab, click on the percent, then you can actually see it's now 52%. We can do the same thing for your non-active customer. So Control C, Control V here. Yeah, Control V here. So instead of active customer here, so you want to go to here and click N, not okay. So this one will be equals to this particular value over the total number of customer, right? So we can see we have 48%, we have 52%. That means people that have left us is almost 50%. So how can we reduce the number of customers that are leaving? That should be our major concern now. Okay, so we've gotten all this one. What is the next thing I jot down? So we want to look at the average tenure and the average age also. So if you look at this, analysis, where is the analysis? So that's why you need to name it. So because when you are working with multiple sheets, you tend to navigate from one sheet to another, which is why I feel like if you use I've used color, it's even better if you're great with color. So now let's say we want to look at the average age of customer in our company. So we can know who should we target our advertisement to. Let's say the average of people in our company is 30. So obviously we don't want to put the advertisement in Nickelodeon or cartoon. You know that average customer in my company, they are not watching cartoon or whatever, stuff like that. So let's look at the average age. Can someone tell me where can I get average age in this particular column? So we have all this column. Where do you think we can get the average age in this particular column? Anyone? Anyone? Look at the column header. We have the credit grade here. We have the geography, gender. We have the age. So yeah, this one said the age column. Obviously, it will be the age column. So to get the average age, you can just write something like average age here. So how do you calculate the average? You just start with equals to average, which is what we've done before. So click on your tab key. So it is asking you what's the number. So you go to your data set here. So this is the number. Click on the first one, then hold your control shift down arrow. Can you see it? Then I can see I'm clicking on I'm highlighting all the data sets from the first data set, from the first value to the last value. That's 10,000 value. So just click on enter. So can we see the average age is what? 38.9. So you can actually go to your home tab, maybe convert this to a whole number by removing all the decimal points, and you can see the average age is what? 39 years. So you can do the same for average tenure. So because we want average tenure, we want to know, okay, what's the least what's the average tenure? How many years do you guys do customer use with us at least? So let's look at average tenure. So who can tell me where can we get our average tenure in this particular case? Look at the column header. Where do you think we can get the average tenure in this particular column header? So anyone, unmute your mic or just write it in the column chat and the chat box. I'm waiting for you. I will just call him in. Yeah, someone said tenure. Thank you. So where is it? So this average tenure. So you want to start with an equals to average. So click on your tab key. It's asking for number. So I'll go to my data set I can see my tenure here. Click on the first column. Oh, this is not the first column. Can you see? I have 9,990, 9,009. Okay, actually, let me just start from. That was a mistake. Okay, let's start from this one. This tenure. So Control Shift down arrow. It will highlight everything from 2 down to 10,000. Then click on your enter key. So we can see at least five customer use at least 5 years with us. So we want to know, okay, a lot of can change after 5 years. You may maybe my what do you call it? My superstore is located in a university setting. So I expect if you are studying 5 years course, so I expect you to spend like 5 years, then leave. You know, if this pastor is like a university setting and you have something like 5 years, it is still very, very good because okay, obviously when you are done with your degree, you need to leave the environment, which is why we have 5% here. Okay. These are some of the stuff we should be plating here. So I think I should just be plating it. I should be adding in graphs there. So if we can, I don't think we can be done here in this particular video unless you want to extend our time. But yeah, I will try as much as possible. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's continue. So let's try to understand this. This is the first KPI. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3 here. We have 4, we have 5. We have 5. Okay, we need more because I actually created 6 box here. So I want to know how many male and how many female do we have in our column, in our data set. So because I also need a pivot table, so I just copy a pivot table here. Control C, Control V. So what am I trying to do? Gender. Okay, you have to look at this stuff. What's the name? Where can I get the statistic of the gender? So you can see you have a gender column here. So let's go back to our analysis. Gender, drive it to role, then value. Please, I'm in class. Thank you. So we have more male than more female. Okay. Depend on how you style it. Depend on how you style it. Okay. So sorry. So we have more males than more female in this particular case. So let's just write it out. You want to write something like male. So it will be equals to 5,000. So female here equals to, you want to get nice people out there. So okay. What else can we do? You can also do something like equals to, you want to get the percentage male of, what is the percentage of the male? So you can just do something like equals to this one over the total number of customer. Right, you have 55% of male, 55% male. So you can do the same thing here, equals to this one over the total customer. Enter, we have 45%. To do this one, just highlight the two, go to your tab, click on the percentage value so we can see we have them here. So now let's try to do them at one at a time. So I don't bombard us with charts later on. So when we are done with our chart, so another thing you need to know is that we need to, when we are done with our analysis, sorry, another thing you need to know is that we need to insert chart, we need to insert graphs on our this. That's our on our that's the last step or second to last step, which we call visualization, because we are just trying to use all this visualization, all these charts, all these graphs to communicate. So that's why you go to under this analysis, you can see something like insert, right? So if you look at insert, let me click on a pivot table here. So if you look at insert, you can see we have a chart section that is recommended chart. You have recommended charts, you have different charts here. So it depends on what you are working on, and that's where you will know the charts you will be using. So now let's start one by one. So before um okay. So the first thing I want to write here would be the total customer, obviously. So let's just do something like this. So under my insert tab, I want to look for my text button. So as I said earlier, you may not have the same, you may have your own text button somewhere around here. So in as much as it's text button, you will have the same thing. So just click on your text box. So let me just, so can you see? I left click, I hold on to my left click, then I create a box. So what do I want to type here? I want to type total customer here. Total customer. So I like everything. Click on my body. I want it to be bold. What color do I want to give it? Let's give it black. I guess that should work. Okay. Let's look how it looks like. Okay, another thing is you want to click on this. Can you see? Look at my cursor. If I click on the box, if I hover my mouse over the box, I can see it's like a cursor now. But once I get to the borderline, it looks like I want to click it. So once my cursor changes like that, you can press something like Ctrl 1. I actually don't want any fill. Yes, I want it to be I don't want it to be color white or whatever. Then I don't want any borderline. So let's do something like this. So we can carry this one here. Can you see how I'm doing mine? Slow and steady. Is this okay? So now let's continue. So you can just do Ctrl D. So instead of formatting another thing, so we can just do something like this. So in this case, so let's this one. This is very technical. Now look, because I want to reference this particular thing, I want to reference this 10,000 to be on my chart. So let's look at how I will do it. So I click on this box under my formula bar. Sorry, under my formula bar. Okay, I've already you write something like equals to. Under my formula bar, you write equals to. Then you go back to your analysis. Then you click on this one. Then click on enter. Can you see my 10,000 disappear into my visual? So you can just click on this one, Ctrl A. Let's highlight bold. Okay. So let's say 10,000. Let's put it on another color. Okay, because they have to be in different color. So this thing take a lot of patience. Patience. Okay. Let's move step by step. So another thing is I want to do something. So now let's look at this. So let me just click on. I know 5,411. What am I saying? Yes, 5,115. Let me just click on this particular true value. So I just highlight it I'm going to my insert tab. So I can see we have different recommended charts. So I want to go to my bar chart. So we have bar chart also, but I want to click on my stack column. Okay, get out using something like this. I need something like, they need to be on horizontal line. And let me copy this down again. I'm sorry, I'm trying to try something out. Okay, it's not working yet. Okay. I think it's true. Let me get more I want to play. Okay, maybe later. Time is past sense. Okay, don't worry. I will try to do a video on that. So let's just leave it like this. So let's continue. So let's do control. This is too large. Control A. Okay, great. Control G. So this one, actually creating a visual is very daunting because you want to make it to be perfect. You want it to be perfect. So you want to know what's the next thing we've created? Active member. So we want to do something like active member here. So the next thing is do control D here also. So the first thing, click on the borderline here. Click on this one. Equals to what's your active member? The active member is 5151. So click on that one. Set reference not valid. Okay, I can see my 5151 here. So let's do the same thing here. Control A. Let's try to bolding it, black, bolding. Yeah, I think that's it. So the same thing for non-active member. Control G here. So instead of active member, will I say inactive member now? Or let me just say, sorry, active, this is supposed to be active customer. Or let me, instead of using active customer, why not use retained customer? Sorry. Oh, that's too much. Instead, tab, why is it everything? Okay. Okay. So the same thing for this one. So I want to say, change customer. So let's make this a double. Control T. So let's go to our formula bar. Erase everything, leave our equals to. Then to our analysis, you can see 4849. So we can see this one also. And so let's just try to edit it. Control A, click on the board. Okay. The next thing we have there is what we call period analysis. So we've represented everything here. So we want to know the percentage. Don't worry about the percentage. I want to add it to a chart, but I've not gotten the chart yet. So we want to do average age, average tenure. So which is the next thing we are supposed to do. So now let's get our average age. So this one, if you where is our visual? This is our visual. So the next thing you want to get something like control D. So this one will be average. Average. Okay, because it's average age. Let me just write it. Okay, so click on this one, Control C, Control V, Control D, Control V, sorry. So you want to double click on this one, click on the borderline, go to your formula bar, write equals to there. So under your analysis, what are we trying to do? Average age. Click on this one, enter. You can see that's your average age. So Control A, I like the 39, bolding it. So we have a, sorry, okay, let's go. So we want to do the same, Control D. So this one will be average tenure. Control D. So double click here, erase this one, click on your borderline, come here, erase everything here, write your equals to, click on your analysis, then average tenure, enter. So we can see 5.0128 here. So we want to double click here, put it on the same format, which is just coding. I just coding it. So okay, that's great. Okay. So so let's look at something. This average age, I'm actually supposed to change it to a whole number. So let's do that. So let's just click on enter. So if we should look at this, can we see it has changed to 5? So that means anything that happens to our analysis, it will be the same on our chart, because we are not referencing, we are not writing the number by our hand, but by analysis. So that's why it is changing independently on we changing the value. So the next thing I want to write here will be, now because I know my color code to be white and red. Why? Red, because when you are working in this sensitive thing like this, you want to show your current customer, or let's say you are working with fatality or brutality or something like that. People that are dead or people that have left your company, you want to represent them with like red color. You know, red signifies danger, you know, while white, green, stuff like that. They signify safety, like you've retained your customer. So I already know that I'm using white as my chart. So this particular current customer actually is supposed to be in red. Control A, go back to my home, and I can see something like this. So let's use this plot right here. So can we see we have a 4.4849. So another thing I'm actually supposed to do is I'm actually supposed to add a comma in everything I'm doing. So you don't need to worry. Just come here, go to your home tab, then you can click on your comma. So because I had a comma, we have decimal point, so you can reduce the comma there. So the same thing. If you look at the views, everything has changed. So we have a good one now. Okay. So let's move on. We don't have time anymore. Okay, let's continue. Control D. Control D. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, is the gender. So this gender now, let's look at it. How do I want to do my gender? Control D, the same way we've been doing the other. So this one should be genders. We have male, we have female. Okay, I think I'll just attend this with the chat. Let's go. Okay, I think yes, we've not been able to do anything per se, but here we are getting there. Now you already know how to create a wireframe and how to do small analysis. So this will be the part. So this will be continuation of where we stopped yesterday. So tomorrow, before tomorrow, by God's grace, I should release the final part where we get to add all this stuff. So it will not be inside the class because obviously it will take a lot of time. But before next Saturday, you are expected to replicate everything done in part 1, part 2, because if you actually noticed yesterday, the link I sent yesterday was part 1. So this will be part 2. By God's grace, before tomorrow, I will send part 3. So when we before next week Saturday, everyone is expected to return full projects. That's assignment number 1. Then assignment number 2 will be everyone will be grouped into 2 groups, and you are expected to also solve the problem. You understand? So, and someone will present the analysis or the results on Sunday. So I guess you are clear with that. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. Do you all understand till this step before we move on? Before we move on, do you all understand till this step? Okay, great. Yeah, we are making progress. So this is where we stop today. By God's grace, before tomorrow, I should be able to spend the next part. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.
I just came back from the conference. Please,
Thank you.
what was the conference?